Hello guys, welcome back. So in this lecture we are going to discuss the need for inheritance. So we are going to talk about why you should use inheritance or why this concept of inheritance exists in Java. Okay, this will help us understand the importance. Okay, and it will also give you a clarity on why this concept exists. Okay, so let's get started. To demonstrate the need of inheritance, I am going to give you an example of a banking module. Okay, so imagine you are a software developer at a bank. Okay, and you have a team. Okay, and you're building a banking module. Okay, which is related to accounts. Okay, so in order to build that module without inheritance, so we'll see how we will build it without inheritance, and we'll also see how that can be built with inheritance and how it simplifies everything. Okay, so without inheritance, you will have different kinds of accounts in the bank. Okay, which is savings accounts, current account, student account. Okay, and to have the functionality of saving account in your module, you need 500 methods, similarly for current account and similarly for student account. Okay, so in total you have to write 1500 methods. Okay, and this makes the code really lengthy. Okay, so 1500 methods you have in total in your project. Now let's take a look on how you will build the same module. Okay, with inheritance. Okay, so with inheritance what you can do is savings, current and student are nothing but types of account. So you can define a parent class called account. Okay, which has all the common methods across the accounts in the bank. Okay, and then you can create specific account. Okay, which is nothing but student account, current account and savings account, and inherit the account class as the parent. Okay, so let me demonstrate this in a more clear way. Okay, so every account needs to validate a user. Every account needs to calculate the interest. Okay, every account needs to deposit money, and every account also has a function to withdraw money. Okay, so these functionalities are common across the accounts. Okay, so what we can do is we can take the common methods or the common functionalities all the accounts. Okay, and create a parent class called account. Okay, which is a general class which has all these common functions. Okay, and then we can create specific accounts, which means student account, it's a specific type of account, and inherit the account class. Okay, now what will happen is when you inherit the account class with the student class, all the functions like deposit, withdraw, calculate interest, validate user will be by default available to the student account. Okay, and you can create the object of student account and perform all those operations. Okay, now this also makes sure that you are not rewriting the code again and again. Okay, so in this particular method over here, you have to write withdraw function over here, you have to write withdraw function in current account, you have to write withdraw function in student account. So all three places you have to write withdraw function. Okay, but over here you have to write withdraw function once in account class. Okay, and all the three classes can inherit the account class, and by default they have the access to withdraw function. Okay, so if a user wants to withdraw from the student account, we call withdraw function, which is available in account class. Okay, similarly for current account and similarly for savings account. Okay, now this promotes reusability a lot. Okay, so this is one of the important features of inheritance and why it exists. So reusing the common code or common functionality. Okay, which is also known as code reusability in object oriented world. Okay, so the main feature of inheritance is that it promotes reusability and it simplifies the code a lot. Okay, so in this case, the withdraw function is written once in the account class, and it's being reused by all the three classes. Okay, and in future, if you add multiple accounts. Okay, so let's say if I add one more kind of account called if a bank adds one more type of accounts in future called a senior citizen account, for example. So in this case you have to create senior citizen account again, the fourth account, and you have to define all the methods again, like withdraw, deposit, validate user, everything. Now in this particular method, you can just create the senior citizen account class over here, and you can just extend it by the account class, which has all the common methods. So since the account class has all the common methods, by default they'll be available in senior citizen account. Okay, so you don't have to rewrite them, and it promotes reusability and it also simplifies your code. Now if you have to do any changes in future in the withdraw function or in the withdraw method, so let's say earlier our bank was not validating the user before withdrawing, for example, and now we are also validating them. So in this particular method without inheritance, you have to add this change to the code in all the three classes. Okay, but over here you have to just make it once in the parent class and it's automatically available in the child classes. Okay, so it also promotes maintainability of the code and it also makes it easy for the future development and enhancement. Okay, so this is how inheritance becomes really really useful in the programming world. Okay, and also I would like to mention that you are writing 1500 methods over here in total, but in this particular method you are just writing 700 methods, so it also reduces the code size or the code base by a lot. Okay, and it's very easier to maintain as well. So to use inheritance effectively in your project, I'm going to give you some tips. Okay, so if you are writing multiple classes, okay, like for the same type which have some same type, okay, now how are you supposed to decide whether which methods you're supposed to define in the parent class and which method you should define in the child class? Okay, so for this you should look at all the classes. Okay, so for example here you have all the classes like student account, current account, saving account. Okay, now what is common in all these classes? So all these classes have deposit function as the common function, withdraw function as the common function, okay, validate user as the common function. So what you can do is you can collect all these common functions or methods and variables also, and you can create a parent class and you can put all this common stuff in that particular parent class. Okay, which is applicable for all three. Okay, and you can, and the child classes can only have child specific method. Okay, so for example for student account you have to collect or you have to validate the college name, so you don't need to put a validate college name method in the account class, but you can have validate college name method only in student account, because validate college name is not valid or not applicable for current, savings and any other accounts you might add in future. So that's the reason you will have that particular method which is just specific to student account in the student account class. Okay, so that's how you define it. Okay, so here I have just written an example of the common method that is applicable for all the three classes. Okay, which is calculate interest. So what you can do is you have to calculate interest for all the type of accounts. So what you can do is you can move this calculate interest method to the parent class. Okay, and some child specific method like for example restrict check facility. So for example if your bank doesn't provide check facility to the student account, okay, so you can have restrict check facility method in the student account, but it's applicable to current account and savings account, so you don't need to move this method to the parent class. So this is how you decide on which method you should include in the parent class and which method you should have in the child class. Okay, so I hope you guys understood what is the need of inheritance in Java and why such concept exists. Okay, I hope this gives you a clarity on why it's important to learn inheritance and why it's important to use inheritance in your real world software projects. I hope you guys enjoyed this class and found it valuable. If you have any questions, you can ask me in Q&A section. I will be happy to help you. I'll see you guys in the next class. Thank you.